Welcome to episode 4, Thursday special, with Eli Detter and
Stephen Pitts.
Steven Pitts. A couple things happened this week. Girls volleyball. That was a fun. That's kind of a wipeout.
3-0.
3-0.
I mean, are we really surprised at this point?
No, they're pretty much doing like everything. I wasn't really paying attention to that game as nearly as much as I usually do, but
I would have.
it was a good one.
I would have gone, but I had to be in Philadelphia.
Yeah. It was a good one. I mean, they destroyed them, but it was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of the people on the other team got 1,000 assists.
Damn.
I was like, dang. It was like right in the middle of the game. Some parents stood up with like a sign that said 1,000 assists. I guess they must have been counting.
Well, they still lost, so
yeah, they lost.
bunch of losers.
And then yesterday afternoon, variety show auditions.
Yes, sir.
We were both there. I did my own little song. Steven did 2 songs?
Yeah, I did 2 songs.
2 songs.
Yeah.
So, I think I hope I get in. I don't know if I will, but I didn't stay for the whole entire audition, so I have no idea how the rest. I don't know how many other people went after me.
There was some good acts. I think the second half
Was
or
better.
the more later was definitely better than the.
What was that? What was that? Like seniors and people who have done it before, or something like that.
Yeah. I think honestly, now that you say that, I think it was a lot of upperclassmen.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some really good singers. There was one girl who played the ukulele.
Oh, really?
Her voice was amazing.
Yeah.
She messed up the lyrics, but then she sounded great, and then messed up the lyrics and got nervous. And I felt so bad 'cause she was doing so well.
Yeah.
And then she came back and killed
Yeah,
it.
that's good. Yeah.
She did really good.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of good acts.
Yeah. My music, unfortunately, cut out right in the middle, and I couldn't even tell because I had my little earbud monitor things in my.
Yeah.
So all I could hear was the music that was playing through the earbuds, and then I could essentially hear a part of my voice. I could not hear what the music outside that was like. So
I mean, it started off. The music was on.
was it like off the entire time?
I'd say you might have had 5 seconds of the music.
Oh my god!
Because what happened was, so you started singing, the music was going for the first 5 seconds,
Yeah,
and then it
right.
turned off, and so I thought
You thought I knew that?
I
it
thought
turned
you
off.
knew. I thought
Oh,
that you told
wow.
Anch to do it because Anch
Oh my
didn't do
God.
anything. So we were just kind of maybe this is just how he wants to do it. So
Oh,
we
that
didn't.
Sucks.
So we didn't do anything, because we didn't know. And then obviously I totally forgot you had your earbuds in. I was like, obviously he would know that the music's not playing, but then I didn't even think about
my
it.
God,
so.
I thought it might have cut off right in the middle or something.
No.
Oh my God,
No,
that
no,
okay.
no,
That
no.
then there's no way I'm gonna make it.
I
it was
don't-
just raw. It was just purely just my voice.
I don't know, because there was some good, because it's variety. So
Yeah.
so a lot we want more. We don't just want singers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so
That's
there were definitely some, questions.
Was there anyone else who didn't just do singing? Was there
there
who
was
did dancing or something like
dude,
that?
There was a Chinese dance,
Oh, nice.
and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there was I forget the kid's name was, Breslin, something Breslin. He was supposed to come. I think he got sick, so he didn't.
Gotcha,
He wasn't
gotcha.
there. But apparently he's been working at it. So that's an act where we're okay, maybe
Yeah. Just having
or
do
maybe
it.
there's another audition,
Yeah.
just so we can see, or send a video. That's what some kids did. They sent
Yeah,
a
yeah.
video in so we could watch
Yeah.
if they couldn't make it. But yeah, there's some really good acts,
That's good. Yeah.
guitars. I think one girl played the bass and sang. That was
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool. But yeah, there's pretty good variety.
Yeah, that's good. I don't want because I was kind of I was watching. I was like, everyone's just singing, and then I
Yeah.
got up there and oh, I'm just gonna be doing the same day as everyone
Yeah.
else, which is yeah. I mean, I will be happy for whoever all gets in. I will be very happy if I get in.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's 25 people,
25,
and I think
people,
we had 30 auditions.
yeah,
I believe that is the ratio. So
Okay.
there's a pretty good chance.
yeah. Cross my fingers.
I think you're definitely better than 5. But
I
who
hope
knows?
so.
Who knows?
What happened was I went up there and they were like, what kind of track do you have? Is there anyone singing in that track? I'm like, yeah, there's background vocals for the chorus part.
Right.
And then she was like, oh, okay. Like that's fine for the audition, but you're gonna have to find a different recording. I was like later, I was like, they might not have a recording that doesn't have those background vocals in it,
Oh.
because that's a type of song where it would be very difficult just to sing by yourself
Are you-
because it's such a
Well, no, because I did when I did Viva La Vida. Viva La Vida had the background though during the one bridge. It's like and it was fine.
really.
So I think she might not have understood what you were trying to say.
Yeah, because I wonder if she thought that there was like someone singing the
Like
full
an
song.
yeah.
I was just like, I might not have said it correctly to where saying that there was just a like background chorus to it.
Yeah, it's like you can't really have like the artist's
no.
voice, but if you have like if that's part of their background, then it's
I think it was.
probably
What I had is I had that track put into like an audio splitter, so I could like
right.
delete the vocals out of it, so it's just music. But I'm like, whatever.
I think it's fine. I don't know. I don't know the rules for the logistics of that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, variety show was last night. Variety show auditions were last night. Variety shows I think it's in 2, not this week, but the next week.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks away.
So
and
maybe
then
the 18th. And
yeah, and then the in school one is day before winter break.
winter break.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, a lot of fun.
Yeah. To get to our main discussion today is, if any of you do not know, it is the 14 years ago, November 9th, 2009. Supposedly, I was adopted by my parents. And
Splendid.
today,
Very splendid day.
today I just wanted to kind of go through, just, I don't know, you could say my story. I'm not going to say go through every part of my life, but like
Go through everything you've ever done, ever.
ever in my
Ever.
life. No, I mean, it's honestly like people ask me, do I remember anything before? I mean, like from Haiti, and honestly, I don't remember a single thing. Like there are smells, and there are like
Smells?
yeah, like have you ever like smelled something? You're like you don't know how you know that smell, but you know the smell.
New York City.
New York City. I feel like that's just a collection of smells. Just
No, just straight.
this
It's straight
wandering
sewer.
of smells.
It's straight sewer, and usually during Christmas you get a lot of the chestnuts from the
Gotcha.
food.
But yeah, there are like
Anyway.
some smells, some tastes that I'm just like I don't know why. Like I've had dreams of like where it was just like I could just kept tasting something. I don't know what it was, and I have to assume that was just like a leftover, like remainder from being from Haiti. But
All you see is red.
oh,
So so like how like did you ever feel weird being
About
adopted, or did
being
you always feel like kind of welcome because it was such at a young age that you kind of always felt naturally in the
I mean, I would definitely say like there's definitely a lot of I don't want to say bad, a lot of negative things that came from me being adopted, just because it kind of messes up a lot of your like how you relate to family and stuff like that. So I definitely say there was sometimes where I was like, this is a little weird. Because my sister is also adopted, and I was just like, there's definitely times where I was like, it was a little weird, right? I
Mm.
walk into anywhere, or I walk anywhere, and it's my 2 very white parents,
right.
my very white brother, my Asian sister, and then a black kid. It's like
Right.
it felt kind of weird, but I wasn't like this
Oh,
shouldn't be
this
happening.
couple likes the rainbow.
It's like I wasn't like this shouldn't be happening. I was
Right.
just like this is different. This is not
For sure.
normal.
But did you personally always feel like you were part of the
I think it was. I think I always consider myself part of the family. But I think it was definitely hard for me to be able to fully understand like all the logistics behind it. Because adoption is like I couldn't choose them, and I think it was just hard for me to get my mind wrapped around. I was like, I
Right.
couldn't choose them; they chose me. It's like it's a little difficult. So maybe I didn't always feel like I was. I think I always knew I was welcome. I always knew I was part of the family. Whether I always felt that kind of wavered between different times. But I think now it's 14 years later.
Yeah,
I've kind of wrapped my head around the fact that this is my family. No one can really choose their family.
for sure.
But, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's things that come from being adopted. Some is a little negative. A lot of that stuff can be really negative. But I think I've finally been able to kind of work my way through it.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So were you did you just kind of like assume or know, or when you got to an age did your like parents like
They told I think I mean I was adopted at the age of I don't know. It was like around 2 or 3, but like I have no idea. Like I have no idea.
Mm.
Like I think I just always knew.
just kind of
Like they
assume
probably
like
told me at some point, but
yeah,
I think at some point I kind of knew. It was like, oh, I'm adopted, and it was probably because they told me, you're adopted. But
you looked at the genes and
yeah,
X,
I
Y,
think
and
I
whatnot.
only in the past couple years I took my 23andMe test. My mom,
Yeah.
like our whole family, took a 23andMe test, and I can like I've never really actually looked at it, but I can see like all of my different genetics and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess I kind of always knew. It's kind of I don't really know exactly how I always knew.
Spidey sense was tingling.
Yeah. So like I don't.
Miles Morales.
Uh,
Anyway, so like, gee, that's I see. I could never like I can wrap my head around it. One of my best friends is adopted, and he was like a baby
hmm
when he was, but it took me a while to like wrap my head around it. Like I didn't really
Yeah.
like get it when I was
Yeah.
young. You know, he'd like tell me
Yeah.
and I'd be like, yeah, whatever, dude. It's like whatever that means. It's like 5 years old. I was like, yeah, whatever that means. But then you get older and you're like, oh, that's what he meant. Oh, that's cool.
It's like I mean,
It makes it like it's like oh that
yeah. I mean, yeah.
his whole
it
family's
makes
white.
sense.
It's like
Yeah,
oh yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah. Like I mean, it's like I don't know. Like I don't really know if I know a good amount of people that are adopted, but I've never had that. It's very weird to bring that up. I feel like just to be like, oh, you're adopted, so am I. I mean, it's a very odd conversation to start with someone.
I mean there's a lot of famous people
Yes, there are
adopted.
a lot of famous people who are
I
adopted.
mean, who am I thinking of? John Lennon.
John Lennon,
John
yes.
Lennon
Beatles, yeah.
was adopted.
Marilyn Monroe,
Marilyn,
was
yeah,
adopted.
I saw that. I was like, Dad, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
Yeah,
That's very
would
interesting.
never have even like that's never even would have crossed my mind. Billy Ray Cyrus, the brother of Miley Cyrus, Trace Cyrus, is also
Really?
adopted. Yep,
oh wow,
yep,
did not know that.
yeah. There's like a bunch of
There's a bunch of, it looks like a lot of musicians.
yes,
We
a lot of
pull it up.
musicians. It looks like,
A lot of musicians.
but yeah, there are a lot of musicians, actresses. I mean, there's a ton of people. You can't really like just specify down, but yeah, there are a lot of famous people that people know regularly that were that were adopted when they were alive, and it's just like. Yeah, it happens all the time. International adoption is a little, I from what my parents told me, it's a little more jumbled than it is to adopt in America. Like it's easy
Or
to
Yeah.
adopt in America. It's not like
I feel like it's
getting cookies, but I mean it's easier to adopt.
I feel
in
like it's
America.
it's a lot more common too in America.
Yeah, I mean yeah, international adoption there's a whole lot of
International love.
there's a whole lot of I don't want to say issues, but there are some issues that come from that. It's just
So, would you go into some of the negatives and positives about? Adoption.
Honestly, for the negatives, I think it was a weird attachment. It was just attachment issue. It was a weird not being able to properly figure out how to attach to my adopted family while keeping the memory and the thought of my birth parents in my brain with being like they're not in my life anymore, and I need to don't have to get over that, but I can recognize that, understand that, and then figure out how to move forward with it. So I would say that might have been the cause of a lot of negative stuff, just like conflicts with my parents, mainly my mother, who like I've always loved my mother, but
Right.
there were for years there was just a constant like I could never get myself to get along well with my mother just because I had the most attachment to the mother figure of
For
all.
sure.
And I think that happens with a lot of adopted kids is they attach to one parent figure, mainly the mother.
And how young were you again?
I would have been 3, 4, 2, or 2, 3, 5.
2, 3, 4.
But yeah, I was a young kid.
So, and have you? I'm sure have you talked to your adopted or
No,
your biological?
I have no idea who they are.
oh, really?
Like,
You
I
don't know?
My parents have tried to find information they can't.
So you like have that love for your adopted mom, or not your adopted mom, your biological mom. But you
Honestly,
don't-
I don't really know if it's love. It's just like if I met her today, I really don't know how I would feel. Like,
right?
it would be such a weird jumble of emotions because
Because after 14 years, it's like,
it's like I don't know you.
yeah,
It's like
right. It's like this is kind of like my family now.
yeah,
Like you're,
it's like you are my biological family, but like I don't know you,
yeah,
and because of that, I can't just say I love you like that. It's like you gave me a life, you gave birth to me, but like
for sure.
I would say like with with my adopted parents, I'd be like, you guys really gave me life because you guys gave me a second chance at not living in a third world country for sure. But like,
Right.
it's like when people say, you know, who do you like? When people say who do I consider my parents, I don't say my birth parents. I say my adopted parents.
So are you not glad, but like so? Because I feel like a lot of people are kind of like, or not a lot of people, but I feel like some people are, like get like mad at their biological parents for like ditching.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like different scenarios.
Yeah,
Like if they just like ditch you on the street and then
Yeah.
find you, like that's
Yeah.
different than like you're in a bad situation. It's better for you.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like mad at them. I don't think I think at this point in my life I figured it out that being angry at them is not what needs to happen. I don't need
sure.
to be angry
Yeah.
at my birth parent because she, for all I know, you know, she made the decision that she thought was the best.
Right.
And I just gotta live with that and be like, okay, you know what? I don't
Mhm.
have my birth parents around here anymore. They're not here. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's just
Move
move
on.
forward with that. So I'm not really angry.
Mhm.
Like if she showed up, I'd be like, I'm not angry at you. I don't blame you for it. I can't blame you for it.
That's good.
Someone somewhere. The reason for the person being angry for is probably long gone. To be honest,
Right.
I mean that's just you know, yeah. I'm not really angry at her
That's good.
anymore. Like that's not something I can get angry at.
Yeah.
I have no reason for that. I used to
So-
be, and then no.
That's good. Well, so I feel like we're getting really negative. So, like, what are the positives though?
Positive,
feel
I
there has to
think-
be some positives.
I think it helps you to look like I know for me personally. I think it definitely helps me to look at other families like situations like other people and be like, hey, like this is a unique situation. I think I have a better understanding of those unique situations. I mean, I was born in one. I lived in one for 3 or 4 years. I know kind of what that stuff's like. I mean, being adopted itself, it's not like it's the craziest thing that ever happened, but like anyone who's adopted can probably tell you they definitely look at the world a little differently than
I'm
most
sure.
other people. So I'd say that's a positive. I'd say another positive is just you learn the value in family out of compassion and love, not blood. You
Mhm.
learn the difference between like I don't know, like like everyone loves their brother, their biological brother. Everyone loves their biological brother or sister, right? I mean that's blood. You
Right.
feel that almost that obligation at points to love them.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna be in your life.
Yeah, but it's
no
like
matter what.
for me, it's like, yeah. I mean, I have my brother is the biological son of my parents, and then my sister is adopted. So it's like I love them too, but that's not. It's obviously it's not out of blood. It's because I made the choice to be like, you know what, they're my brother and sister. I'm gonna love them. It's like
Right.
even and it the definitions of love kind of got a little murky for me because I kind of kept being like, it's like what is love for me, and I kept
Yeah.
getting very warbled and kind of messed up thoughts of what love was and what love was considered for me. But I would say there's a positive. There's definitely a lot of positives that come from being adopted. It's
Do you think this is my personal opinion? Is I feel like it's worse when you adopt young and you don't tell them till they're older.
yes,
Like, I feel like that's a conversation you have to have like when they're young, because I feel like if you're young and you live your whole life, like
Mhm.
say your parents didn't tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you can assume, but say your parents weren't Caucasian, they were more darker skin,
yeah, yeah,
and you're adopted and you're 16 now,
yeah,
and they tell you at this age, like, hey, like we're actually not your biological. I feel like that does a lot of like mistrust, maybe. I don't know. I just could never, like, if my parents like told me, like, I know I am
yeah.
the biological son, but if they came out and told me like, hey, like you were adopted, I feel like I'd feel I don't even know how I'd feel.
Yeah.
But do you agree with that? Do you think it's
I think it's good that my parents told me when they did. Because
Yeah.
if they would have told me now, I mean, that would have. Like, because I remember there was a conversation I had with my parents. Well, I think it was with my mom. It might have been my whole family. I don't really know. But it was like, I was looking at my skin, and I was looking at my mom's, and I was like, why, I'm so much darker than you.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, and that's, how it's supposed to be, right? Like, I'm just darker than you. That's just how God made me.
Yeah.
And I think if I had still known, if I had still thought at that age that I was their biological kid, I mean that like, yeah, I'm very happy. Like because I know there are some families that wait so long to tell
Yeah.
their kid they're adopted. I'm so happy that they told me when I was a little kid because that as much of as be knowing I'm adopted might have hurt me a little bit. This is just how it is. I'm happy that they told me because I'm like, okay, I'm adopted. I'm not their biological kid, but they chose me. They
Yeah.
chose me to be their
Chose
kid.
me, yeah.
That shows a lot of compassion and love. So it's like, okay,
I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like it's a really big thing with adoption. Is like
yeah,
it's a really big sign of like, hey, like
yeah,
you're not biologically mine, but I'm going to love you no matter
yeah,
what.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it almost forms an even stronger bond. Just the choice of it.
Yeah.
It's just it's definitely a power like it's such a powerful thing. There's like and I mean you can search up like there are so many different like these sayings and quotes about just like how that choice of someone adopting you makes it so much more powerful. Like so there's one Richard Bach. The bond that links your true family is not one of blood but of respect and joy for each other's life. Like that
Damn.
so deep.
Damn.
that goes hard. Like
Right in the
you
heart.
just like
It's pulling.
yeah. I mean it's like and then there's another one, Valerie Harper, and however motherhood comes to you, it's a miracle. I mean, I couldn't choose either parent, either of my adopted mother or my birth mother.
Mhm.
Both of them had made choices out of love, and one was my biological, and one was my adopted. But like they both loved me. They both. I have no idea whether my adopted parents are, sorry, whether my birth parents are still alive.
Mm.
So like I could say maybe they knowing, if they're still alive, they still love me. I have to assume that. I mean,
Right.
I have to just assume that. But like they both made choices out of love. They both made decisions out of love. So it's just like, motherhood. It comes to you however it comes to you. Some people kind of like find mother figures in their life and they're like
Right.
they choose that person just to be their mom because it's like they kind of fit into that role. And it's just like
Yeah.
that's just how it happens for some people. It doesn't really matter how it happens. It just I think everyone needs a mother figure in their life. It's like impossible to go without one.
I think every male needs a
Yeah, I think
female figure in
yes.
their life.
Yeah, it's like it's a. I think there are so many like scientific studies on that, just how we react to, strong, powerful mother figures or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so I mean, there are ups and downs from being adopted, definitely positive and negatives. It's not like I try not to go too deep with people on how bad it was for a really long time. Just at home and stuff like that with my parents and siblings and stuff like that. And it wasn't. I don't know. Like there's good and bad stuff. I did bad stuff. I did good stuff. I definitely do not blame my birth parents or my adopted parents for how I am. Like I think there are lots of choices that I made, and there are lots of things that just happened to my brain automatically from being in the orphanage and from being adopted that I can't really blame anyone for. So
Right. I want to see something. It might be. Am I plugged into the aux?
you might be. I don't know.
Because I was gonna turn my volume down. No, my volume's all the way up. I wouldn't turn.
No, I'm turning on. I'm seeing if there's like a little phone thing right here. I don't know. You might be plugged into the aux. I have no idea.
I don't think my Wi-Fi will let me, regardless. 'Cause
Oh.
I have none in here.
What
But
what were you gonna look at?
I was just gonna play a song and see if it comes through the.
Oh,
No, it's not playing.
Hmm.
But I think it is. I think it is.
That's actually interesting that you actually say about music. I've been told that there was a couple of songs that like when during the adoption process that like my mom listened to a lot, and there are songs that I listen to all the time and I love them. One was a Switchfoot, I believe it is Switchfoot. It is "Dare You to Move."
Yep.
It's a great song, but like when you listen to the words are so powerful.
Right.
It's just like I don't know. Like there's I don't know. There's so much about adoption that makes you get so I don't know emotional and stuff like that. This is like I said. I don't usually talk about all this stuff that like went on just from being adopted. Just how I kind of looked at love. I kind of looked at love almost like
Oh,
oh.
there it is. There it is. Hey, dude, I think I found. I think it's working. Wait, is it down?
I turn it. Play it again. Play it again. There we go.
Ooh.
We got some
Ooh.
music on here.
Yo, Loki. Oh, some Bruno.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know how copyright works, so I'll turn that off right now. 5 seconds. That scared the hell out of me.
I was like, oh.
I was like, oh, there it is. We got it.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's kind of like the gist of it.
That's a good song.
That is a good one.
That was a random song too. I picked the one song, it skipped like through 5, and then finally found one that can work with this Wi-Fi. I was like, yes, found it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
Whew. We should get a headphone warning.
Dude, that's like
So he's listening to this in the car.
like
I was
boom.
just. Damn.
Your ears just got destroyed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? That's kind of the gist of it. I don't think there's much more to even go through.
Well, that was very interesting.
Yeah. Because like
Okay.
it's everyone's adoption story is interesting because it's different with each person for sure. But yeah, it's kind of good and bad, positive and negative.
Well,
There's a lot of negative, but there's also a lot of positive that's happening. So you know,
Well, I'm glad you're here
yeah.
with us. Very
Like
wholesome.
I said, I think I posted something this morning. Said if the choice hadn't been made, I wouldn't be this person. I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have met all these people. And it's like, I'm happy it happened. To be 100% honest, I would not trade it back. Really, like I've always kind of thought I would trade anything to be back with my birth parents. But
Oh my god, I totally lost that song. I'm so mad. Sorry.
you can probably just go back through history. But like with everything that's happened, honestly, I think I'm where I need to be in life, and I'm where I need to be.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I think that brings us to the
just
end.
to the
here.
conclusion of episode 4.
Yeah. Be sure to check out YouTube, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, Off the Record Podcast. Links are in our Instagram bio at Off the Record Podcast 23. You can find Stephen Pitts at Stephen Pitts at Stephen Pitts 40, and me at Eli _Y102.
Oh yeah.
And our quote of the day is brought to you by a deceased American anthropologist, Margaret Mead. Always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. And with that, that is Eli Jeter and
Stephen Pitts.
going off the record.